My name is Lauren Heistad. I am the author to the book SOULworks Trilogy, Homecoming. And I am working my way through the 3 books that are within this massive compilation of my own journey. I call it Homecoming. A lot of resistance lately within myself, within those around me. Has me questioning a few things, of course, as to why I keep moving this forward. There's various incoming opinions. Why, now that I'm at home, why won't I just park the journey that's been my SOULworks and move on? Why am I putting this online? Why would I so permanently put something out there? Good question. Why wouldn't I take the time to get a better setup, Better audio, better camera? I can answer that one. I put way too much finances into this path of mine and kind of refuse to put any more into it at this point. But time I have. So I continue forward with what I have available to me. Besides, I'm not looking to shout my story from the rooftop. I'm having a personal conversation with you, and perhaps even myself, just to work through this last part of this chapter of my journey so that I can close the old book and move on. Lots of upcoming, rising fears in me. I still have 2 chapters left to read, and that's only in my 2nd book, and then I have my 3rd one, which of course I don't even want to dive into. I mean, spoiler alert, but completely rejected along the way, maybe even by myself. Lost my business through the process, and hence back at home. Yeah, I still keep pushing this through. I call it my PTSD. I don't want my story to get lost. Even if it's just for myself, even if it's just to say to myself, I was here. I know I was here. And I know that I did everything I could within what felt right to me and my family to keep plugging this forward. Which I guess is why I'm still here today, working to finish book 2, Evolving Your SOULworks. And I guess reiterating to myself and all others out there that not everybody will always understand our drive, and our life paths are not easy and smooth and, master at various aspects in our lives, but the path and journey to our own destiny, if it was easy, we all would have done it years ago, right? We all would have been at a different state in this world thousands of years ago. But here we are, still slugging through this together, and yet in this absolutely amazing divine appointment in time. I guess that's why I keep showing up. Today's no different. Chapter 46. It's called Restoring Balance. Okay. Continuing with my group. We had just visited a sacred chapel, remember? and called a group from the original ceremony back together. That's where we are. Okay, so continuing with my group, I headed to the ceremony site from the year prior. Another participant and I had similar insights about finding a new space and creating a new energy wheel in honor of the changes taking place within ourselves and all others. So we all went to sleep that night preparing for the day to come. Scared moving forward when you don't know what's there, hey? So during the evening and well into the moonlit night, fear and dark energy crept in. Yeah, dealing with that again. Just a minute. I gotta pause. I'll be right back. Take 2. Okay. During that evening and well into the moonlit night, fear and dark energy crept into my awareness once again. I watched people literally morph into dark beings and say things they would never have normally said or thought. I watched thoughts enter my own mind, telling me to flee. I struggled with feelings of danger and impending doom. And even my tongue swelled as if poisoned from some unknown force. True story. As I tried to sleep, I felt very panicky. I felt like I was part of a weird fairy tale dream, where dark was once again trying to put me to sleep and off my path. Yep, lots of resistance. For years. Never mind what's amping up in my own well of fears and courage right now, hey? I struggled for a long time. That night, convinced I was losing my mind, until my guides brought calm to my inner storm. They reminded me it was the collective dark force, as well as my ego, as well as past experiences that wanted me to leave. Not my soul. Not my soul. Are you kidding me? Do you know what she's been through to get here? No, she didn't want to go. That was all the clarity it took. I stayed. Then and now, I stayed, focused on the path that is my own SOULworks. Okay. But at this point in my life, it was on June 20th, 2016, during the summer solstice, full moon, and traditional celebration of the divine feminine. A new wheel was created by our group. It contained an outer and inner circle, representing as above, so below. We used rocks to create the entire space, naming them along the way. Now, some represented people, animals, events, concepts, health and body parts, galactic connections, universal oneness, and the list went on and on, until we pieced together two solid wheels of interconnectivity just at the cusp of summer solstice. Whereas the ceremony from the year prior had those individual wheels in each direction as well as the center hub. But this new wheel housed all participants, all of them, and contained 7 spokes representing the 7 chakras and the 7 who participated in the group. So the original ceremony was incredibly powerful, of course, one I will definitely never forget, and served a completely different purpose. It was to raise the feminine energy and to help each person individually find and utilize their full potential from within. The second ceremony was to bring full closure, true balance, as well as inner and outer peace. To me, it was important to make this distinction and symbolic change for many reasons. Everyone represented everything. There was no center point chosen for any one person to stand. There was no directions allocated for any one person to represent. There was only oneness. I noticed for... what did I notice? Just a minute. I noticed that even though I had individually named and placed many of the rocks within the center for my own personal and collective development, not within the center, within the circle. True. As time went on, the lines blurred, and I could no longer distinguish what rocks represented any one person, place, or thing. There was just harmony between all things, and it felt wonderful. Essentially, that day we created a portal which was utilized for multiple reasons: to help bring complete balance to the yin and yang energies, to help all souls, including myself, stand in their truth, to make the connection between heaven and earth, and to bring unity to this dimension, to help bring unity to this dimension. It was also utilized as a key to connect all energetic grids that had ever been made over time in honor of a higher vibrational world. As we activated the wheel that day, I saw arcs of rainbows, just arcs of them, moving towards all other grids around the world, forming this huge, interconnected web of light. It was an amazing healing experience that I will cherish forever. Through that process, I learned to love and stand in my own unique experiences and life calling while honoring all others. There's the key. On the way home, I fully intended to make it all the way back to the comforts of my own bed. However, through a series of weird events, I eventually ended up making the very same 3 pit stops I did the year previous, as if the first time had only been a trial run for the real deal. True on many levels, hey? Eventually, through exhaustion and overpowering emotions, I crashed in my hometown for the next 3 days in what I believe was a shock to my system. Definitely. My energy field vibrated and shifted through an inner and outer process that lasted for days. I did not even sleep for the first 24 hours, as my guides brought clarity. They did, linked many more elements of what I had said and done to the scriptures. It made me understand the oneness element of my experience and filled in many of the blanks needed to fully be at peace to fully bring peace to my mind and to my shaking, overwhelmed heart. Finally, after all the trials and tribulations I had been through, I felt my biggest hurdle had just been completed. I'm going to add in so far. Yep. But at the time, it really felt like my biggest hurdle had been completed. I fully had stood in my role, gained faith in my ability to deliver the teachings received. There was no more denial. Okay, maybe a little bit, but for the most part, there was no more denial, no more underplaying or overplaying my role. I am who I am. I am. That's not wrong. It just is. In fact, at some point in the night, I got up and channeled that exact message and personal declaration. It is done, I announced to myself and the world. There are many people throughout time who have connected and felt the energy and life forces of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, symbolizing the divine masculine and feminine energies found within each soul. There are also many who are able to connect and are linked to these biblical times. Of course there are. However, I know with all my heart and soul that I have lived this unique prophecy. It is my own independent, one-of-a-kind story and soul path for which I have a personal responsibility. I do. Not only to claim, but to also stand in so that I can help bring healing and teachings to all others and myself affected by this truth. This is who I am. This is my SOULworks. Okay, evolving your SOULworks. Since my biblical encounters have continued to unfold, I can honestly say I've read those damn but holy scriptures inside and out and backwards and forward over and over again. I need to clarify that there. I'm not talking about reading the entire Bible. I'm talking about reading the scriptures that my guides kept bringing my attention to. I only read them when they bring attention to them, trust me. And then when they bring them to my attention, I spend a whole lot of time going, what the F is going on with me? And why does this keep happening? But I have read those over and over again, that's for sure. I've analyzed them, meditated on them, sought others' opinions on them, and even tried to ignore the teachings or events that are unfolding altogether. Many times over. As someone with no prior knowledge, zero knowledge of the Isaiah scriptures, the book of Daniel, the true meaning of Revelation, or many other verses quoted along the way, I have sure learned to appreciate their significance or insignificance. I've also tried every which way to change the chain of events and distance myself from the story. I simply cannot, because it's my story. It's my story. And that's not oozing pride there, by the way. That's an acceptance of the fact that it's my story. try as I might. I cannot deny my connection to these scriptures, nor can I deny the colossally misunderstood wisdom held within these ancient documents. I do not feel like I have to battle anymore. Should have never felt like I had to, by the way. I feel the battle is already won. I also know victory comes with taking the higher road and learning to express oneself while showing, that's what I'm working on right now, still, while showing compassion for all others. I feel I have battled with dark energy in some respects because of my own insecurities about claiming and standing my ground. Not that I have now that I've officially done that, many times over, by the way, I feel and send only compassion to those still trying to find their own way. Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? I want to end this old story as much as anybody else, I assure you. That is my ultimate goal. For every person to continue to move their soul energy fully into this human experience. With full awareness and higher consciousness. I even thank those. I do. I thank those who battled me against the way and along the way. I know most of it was necessary for me to go through this process in order to gain my own strength and clarity. The process is an ongoing development of inner reflection and choice. The world continuously provides opportunities to come from a balanced state of heartfelt pursuits. Sometimes, admittedly, we choose to ride the lower frequencies. We all do. In a nutshell, that's really how the universe works. It's that simple. The choices we make on a day-to-day basis as to which frequency we reside in. Heartfelt or not so much. There is not one soul in this universe or person on this earth who does not deserve to feel the fullness and expansive joy of being one with the Creator and achieve Christ consciousness. Everyone is capable of living within this state of bliss, both internally as well as externally in the world around them. Heaven, it is on earth. Mankind has already started to shift back into the light and experience this reality. Those who are open and move with the flow of their own heart have already achieved this higher vibration of existence and are experiencing this reality every day. Or at least for parts of our days, right? Those that continue with their egotistical, self-centered, or negative ways will continue to ride the lower vibrations until a higher frequency of critical mass is finally achieved. Godspeed. My life is also mind-boggling. It is. And at times I do get scared of the implications. Not just for me, but for those around me. However, this I know. Change is in the air, and somehow we are all linked to these great changes. I know my fear and uncertainty like to creep in, but I also know I have had way too much evidence. I have. way too much evidence and proof of where we are in this story and which role I'm playing. And I always hold on to this. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? What if I am some antichrist or false prophet or a hideous evil beast as depicted in the book of Revelation? What if the series of events that I'm going through are colossally misunderstood on my part, but still necessary to help the rest of the world move beyond the old, outdated story and into a new world of existence? What if? Would I still not give it my all in an effort to help move a cause forward that I believe in? Would I not put myself out there, take one for the team to help everyone else move forward? I'm pretty sure I already have. And I am very confident I've done it again. And would do it again, if that is what is needed to advance the greater good. And that's not playing the role of a martyr, by the way, or savior, for heaven's sakes. That's just playing the role of a soulfully driven woman who just can't seem to stop this forward motion of change. Now, I do have doubts all the time, asking my guides repeatedly to confirm that I know what I know. The more I experience prophecies and continue throughout my book and life path, the more clarity that comes in, but always followed by doubts yet again. My guides put it in an interesting way, though. They remind me I did not go seeking this life. Not even close. My guides have spent years trying to get me to open up to and awaken to the truth of my soul works. I'm also like you, in that I need to experience things for myself. Of course we do. I don't take anyone else's word as my truth, and neither should you, until I know it through my own encounters. That is what I have to keep reminding myself every day. I was not aware of who Sophia was, what she represented, or that there are ancient teachings about her representing both the Yeshua and Mary Magdalene energy, or Mary, however you would reference that. I did not realize there was a prophecy connected to the name of my family farm. I did not comprehend the scope of Revelation, Daniel, or Isaiah, nor did I understand what the implications meant as I worked through the physical experiences of these events. Not even close. I simply lived it. And not all that gracefully either. And then heard and found the evidence to explain what I have always known to be true in my heart. And in reality, it really doesn't even matter. As I've said before, my story, even though it's one huge ass volume, is no greater or smaller than yours. It's simply my own truth. It is time for the world to understand how important each and every soul on this earth truly is. And how connected we really are. I believe the goal of these experiences is to understand we are all contained within that sacred source energy. If teachings continue to focus on how important any one individual is in this process, prophesied or otherwise, we are only recreating the old story and holding on to the outdated versions and vibration of that awareness. Truth. Teachings and actions must start to reflect the higher truth. Collectively, we are all important and equally contributing factors to the whole. We are all connected energetically. This I definitely know. As your consciousness expands, you can easily learn to tune into and access any individual existence and feel the raw emotions and energy that radiate from each unique event in time. Thankfully. Through our individual experiences, we are evolving collectively. We each contribute a unique and individual part to this whole. We each need to take personal responsibility for helping to co-create the past, current, and future states of our world. We must work together to create a more peaceful and abundant experience for all of humanity. More importantly, we need to start living in a unified and loving manner as opposed to the duality we have become so accustomed to living. But ultimately, the choice is yours. Godspeed. Okay, your move. End the battle. End the battle. In looking back over the last few years, I can clearly see how I lost faith in myself and my role because I allowed and followed the energy and thought patterns of others. People are able to project their thoughts and visions towards us, either consciously or unconsciously, that if we are not careful, can start to change our own beliefs and truths. Go back to an instance that has occurred in your life when you felt someone was manipulating your energy or working against you. Follow the energy to see the connection. Send love. Send love. Then switch this activity by thinking of a time when you exerted your influence or energy onto someone else. Go back and replay the memory in your mind. This time, set the intention to utilize love. All right. Understand your power. Soft formatting error. Don't mind me. Understand your power. With great power comes great responsibility. We are all spiritual warriors, fighting for a change in vibration. How we choose to fight this war will dictate what level of awareness we are able to achieve. Continued competition, war, or battle is not, nor will ever be, the answer. love, and compassion are. Our thoughts and intentions on an energetic level are affecting people and our reality on the physical one. Did you need me to repeat that one? Our thoughts and intentions on an energetic level are affecting people and our reality on the physical level. The more powerful we become, the more we must understand this truth. Only do energetically to someone or something what you are only willing to do in person. Do you understand? Only do energetically to someone or something what you're only willing to do in person. Always. Next, master your energy. People only have control over your life and energy if you let them. Truth. Monitor your energetic boundaries and become fully aware when it is your emotions or thoughts you are feeling or someone else's. Just because we are empathetic beings does not mean all emotions felt are necessarily ours. Become responsible for your own energy and emotions. Utilize your awareness of others' emotions or thought processes to help guide them to the light or yourself. But don't take them on as your own. A great way to practice this is to imagine your energy as a force field. Stay present and notice when your energy changes or is being affected by others. Even if your energy is being manipulated or pushed at, don't let it ripple your world. Stay strong and practice being unaffected by the flow of energy around you. In fact, imagine their actions, thoughts, and intentions moving straight through you and past you, as opposed to affecting your own inner peace. Right? Straight through. If you are having trouble finding this equilibrium, ask your guides to turn off the transmissions of others in your head and energetic field. It's like being taken off the grid, so lower vibrations can no longer affect your energy, nor can they even tune into you. That way, you can enjoy and learn more about your own energy without being influenced by others. Next, change the story. I always find it amusing when people seek out advice from their spirit guides through a psychic or a medium, or in my case, even in prophecy, and then are upset with the information provided. You can be upset, but then let it go through, right? Move on. Do you understand the presented information regarding your future is often based on your current vibration and the intentions you're putting out into the world? So, if you hear something that you're not happy with, change the story. I find that the most fascinating about my life path. It feels to me like I'm stuck in a story, and yet I know damn well I've changed it, and I continue to change it every time I'm presented with a choice. That's the blessing of having free will in this world, isn't it? Aim to hold a different vibration and intention to create the future you do want. Okay, and lastly, accept your mission. As I describe the changes occurring in my life to my, at the time, teenage daughter, she's a beautiful young lady now, but I became more and more aware and worked up about the battles I have endured. She simply asked, well, how does it end? Meaning, how does the book of Revelation turn out? Our children are wise beyond their years, Ears too, because they're wise beyond what they hear. Of course, the prophecy ends by the world transitioning into a new era, where all things are respected and loved. All things. This is our current mission, to create this happy ending and start a new level of existence, bursting with inner and outer peace. There's no soul mission that is too large or too small. What is happening in our life at a personal level is a reflection of what is happening at a global one. When you work through your own life challenges at the vibration of love, you're helping the entire world do the same. This is your mission. Please accept it. Thank you for helping me change the old story. I appreciate being able to tell my version of this epic tale. I appreciate my voice not getting lost over time. And I appreciate the opportunity to let go of my own fears and stand in my own soul path.